Hello student of class 7. Let's continue our chapter Respiration in Organism. Till now we have discussed about internal respiration or cellular respiration. Today we are going to discuss about external respiration, or we can say breathing. External respiration or breathing in human involves several organs and that work together to form the respiratory system. The air that we take in by breathing passes through our nostrils and enter the nasal cavity. Tiny hairs in the nostrils trap the dust, harmful substances, and microorganisms. And the inner lining of the nasal cavity contains mucus gland. They secrete mucus, which prevent the drying of tissue and moisten the inhaled air. The blood capillaries in the nasal cavity warm up the air before it enters the nasal cavity. At first, air passes from the nasal cavity through a passage called the pharynx and enters the trachea, or you can say windpipe. The pharynx, we can say it is a junction where food and air both comes for meet and separate from this junction. So pharynx is the place from where food and air separated. Food moves through food pipe, or we can say esophagus, and air moves through the windpipe, or we can say trachea. In this diagram, trachea is given, that means windpipe. Food pipe is not given, but food pipe is always reside along with this windpipe, and windpipe is small compared to the food pipe. Actually, respiration is the process by which energy is released from food in our body. The function of respiratory system is to breathe in oxygen for respiration, producing energy, and to breathe out carbon dioxide. With the help of lungs, gases are exchanged between the bloods and the air. Gases exchanged are oxygen and carbon dioxide. We can live without food and water for many days, but we cannot live for more than one few minutes without air. So air is necessary for breathing. So before discussing the human respiratory system, it is necessary to know the process breathing, which is an important part of respiration. So till now we have understood that air enters through the nasal cavity, then it passes through the pharynx, then after that it enter into the trachea, means windpipe. So after that you can see the windpipe is entering into two lungs by making two network, and apart from this you can see some small ring like bone is present over the surface of the windpipe, that is giving the protection which prevent of collapsing this trachea in any situation. So this is very important thing here. So students, see, after goes into the pharynx. Actually, pharynx is the passage that leads to both the trachea and the esophagus. It opens into the trachea through the glottis. The glottis is guarded by a flap-like structure called epiglottis, which prevents water and food from entering the trachea. The trachea divides into two bronchi. So students, remember, when from pharynx the food and air separated and food goes into the food pipe and air goes into the windpipe. So that function done by epiglottis. Epiglottis makes sure food is going through by food pipe and air is going by the windpipe. After that, whenever the air will reach into the windpipe or trachea, this trachea again you can see divided into two parts and which are entering into both the lungs. They are called bronchi. Singular form we can say bronchus. So since here two bronchus are there, so we can say bronchi. Each bronchus leads into the lungs. Lungs are the main organ of respiration. They are present as a pair of our chest cavity. Lungs are spongy, sac-like structure and are richly supplied with blood vessels. In the lungs, each bronchus branches several smaller, thinner tube called bronchioles. So after you can see student when this bronchus enter into the lungs, then inside these lungs, this bronchus again divided into very small network with small tube, and they are called bronchioles. Bronchioles and in tiny thin walled air sacs called alveoli. So in this diagram it is not visible, but whenever these bronchioles entering into the lungs, then they again divided into very small network. They are called bronchioles, and each bronchioles and there is a bag-like structure which trap the air, that is called alveoli. Each lung contains millions of tiny alveoli. Each alveoli is linked by a network of thin blood vessels called capillaries that help in the exchange of gases. And about the mechanism of breathing, we will discuss about this in our next video.